Hey guys, it's Erin. This time I'm gonna go over quickly. I won't take up too much of your time like the last video. I'm gonna go over, well, maybe this will be really long, who knows. I'm gonna go over the tools that I think you guys might need if you wanna actually follow along with these tutorials that I'm going to attempt to do. So you just need a few pencils. They are graphite and charcoal. So you can get these on Amazon, and I will link to all of them so that you can easily find them. I'm going to show you on a piece of paper what all of these are, but they range from graphite pencils to charcoal to carbon. I think that's still charcoal. I don't know. It's called Carbon Sketch. But these are probably the main ones that you need. You could do a really great drawing with just these. So those are the pencils, and I'm again going to show you down below how those all work. And you might need some blending stumps. These aren't like 100% necessary. I don't really use them very often, but it is nice to have, and they are pretty cheap, and they come with like 5,000 different sizes in a little thing if you buy it. They are good for blending like kind of like tighter lines, so I'll show you how to use those down below. So the other thing are Q-tips, which I'm sure you all, I hope you all have some Q-tips at home. I hope so. These are, I use these all the time. I use Q-tips more for blending than anything else. So I go through boxes of these. So get your box of Q-tips and put it next to your drawing stuff. Also, let's see, you can buy, this is a white charcoal pencil. And I love this pencil, but really only if you're drawing like dark fur or black fur would you need it. So it just kind of depends on what you're wanting to draw. I will do a tutorial on dark fur, so if you want to follow along with that, then you might want to get one of these white charcoal pencils. You'll need a sharpener, and I just use one of these little guys. And they usually come in the package with the pencils, so you probably don't have to buy it separately, but if you do, it looks like this, and it's necessary, you need it, but don't use like a mechanical electric pencil or sharpener. It will ruin your charcoal pencils. It will shred them to pieces. They're too soft for that, so you'll want to get one of these puppies. And oh, two more pieces of charcoal that you will probably need or like to have are these little guys. They're really light and good with shadowing and stuff like that. I will show you how to use those. And this is like a darker, like thicker, harder piece of charcoal. And it's really good if you're doing like a black dog or lots of black fur, because it just covers more surface area and it's super dark. So I like to use that for that. And you'll need erasers for sure. This is a kneaded eraser, and it kind of just like looks like putty. But this eraser is really the only thing that erases charcoal well. So you definitely are gonna wanna need one of these. And they, or wanna get one of these. They usually come also with like a packet of pencils. Charcoal pencils usually comes with a kneaded eraser. So you should be able to get it with that, or you can just buy it separately. And I really like this. This isn't like 100% necessary to have, but I use it a lot, and I will use it in my tutorials. But this is powdered charcoal, and it's from Generals, and I just use a regular old paintbrush from my painting stuff. I'm sure there's paintbrushes that are meant for this charcoal, but if you already have one, just grab it. It's probably fine. This is the one that I use. It's like a rounded tip. I have smaller ones that I use once in a while, but really this is the one that I like and use. I think that's it. Oh, and paper. This is the paper that I use. This is Strathmore drawing paper, and it works great. So get yourself some of that. Okay, I think that's it. So here is what the 4H looks like. So it's very light. And here is what the 6B looks like. And this is many steps up from the 4H. There's a bunch in between. Here's just a few I have on hand. There's HB, there's 3B, you know, just B. But these are the two that I use most often. So here is 6B, you can see, and I'm pressing the exact same. You can see how much darker it is. So this is what you would start out with to do your outlines. And then this is what you'll go in with to show the shadows or darker hairs or whatever it might be. At least these are the two that I use most often. So I'm going to show you just kind of a quick example of how these two might work together if we were drawing some dog hair. So you would start with a lighter 4H pencil to get just your outline down, see where your strokes are. You took a Q-tip and kind of blended this. This Q-tip was already dirty, so it's making it a little darker. Maybe your 6B or another darker pencil of your choice. You might even start with like a 2B. Again, these kind of come in a package, so you'll get all of these colors and shades. And kind of go along with your outline that you already started. And some will be darker, some you'll keep lighter, depending on the fur that you're looking at. And you're always going to have a picture to look at least I need one to look at when you're drawing fur or really anything else, so that you can see the direction that it's going in and where the shadows are. And then I would come in with my Q-tip again, and you can see that it's the darker areas are kind of showing through over the lighter areas, but the lighter areas are still there. And then you might go in with your 6B and do, you know, just your darker undertones here. Just kind of go where the shadows are, where the darker spots are. And then blend that in. You can see like that's a tighter line. Than that line. So you can kind of see how it feathers out when you press down, and the hard is a tighter line than the rest. You can see how it gets darker as you move to soft. And so I would take, say, for example, the hard, and go in and kind of, you know, add some lines that I thought were needed. I'm not looking at any type of picture right now, so I'm just kind of making this up as I go. Some more depth to it without feathering too much. And if you wanted to build up a shadow kind of underneath, then you might go in with the medium or the soft. So this is the soft. If I were to like bring this out, this hair would be coming out from underneath this hair, so it might have a shadow. And then maybe this one, and then this one. And so you would use your little Q-tip or your blending stump. Actually, let me show you what a blending stump might do. This is Q-tips. I just really like the way they blend, but blending stumps also work well. Sometimes they work even better depending on what you're trying to do. But this is, sometimes if you want a straighter line, like right here, I would want this to be like a tighter line. I would use a stump instead of a Q-tip, because the Q-tip does not give you that line that you need. So just and then you could go in with your darker carbon. So this is the carbon. See, it breaks super easy. So you have to be careful there, but you can see it's much darker. But this will give you that darker areas that you might need. And you can just keep layering on top of your other pencils. And you can use your blending stump here, or you can use a Q-tip, depending on the kind of line that you need to get. Here, I just need to get a tighter line, so, and I'll fix this with a, with an eraser. And then, you know, you can go back in with your, this kind of gives you a softer blend. And you can see there's no, it's hard to control. It's super light. It's not heavy at all. So it doesn't give you a very clean line. But if you needed to just kind of get around something and add a kind of a shadow, it works pretty good. You can use a Q-tip here. And then you can see, you can make a shadow very similar, and sometimes it's a cleaner line. Again, it just kind of depends on what you're working with, but it's nice for blonder hair to do this and then use the eraser on top of that. And you can build up on it and make some spots darker than others, so it looks more realistic. And go with like a darker spot right here. So the more, obviously, the more charcoal you put on it, the darker it's going to be. And then you can kind of build up on it like that. So those are those. And then also this charcoal, this is nice to blend your other pencils that you've already used. Like if it's kind of not really blending well, you can kind of stick this charcoal on top of that and blend it in better. And so I do that all the time. And then you would just like, you know, add it in. And you can use a smaller brush if you need to get in to smaller areas. Okay, so that's what kind of that does. That is the loose charcoal. See? More, so you can see how it's not a very tight line, but you would just kind of draw that in there, and then I use my finger to blend that in. If you're doing a black dog, then you might go in similar as you did with the graphite pencils, but you're going to kind of do the opposite. You start with the dark and move to the light, and you would, you know, kind of draw your hair texture in there, and then kind of use your finger to get it in and keep adding. So this is kind of a backwards process. Do your layering. And then just keep adding on top of it to layer. To give depth to the fur. You know, and some will be lighter as they'll be underneath, or darker, I guess I should say. You can just kind of layer like that with the white on top of the black. And then if you need to go back in and add, can you see that? It's really, see that? And, you know, get into those little areas that you want to keep darker. And just kind of keep going, and that gives you an idea of what it looks like. And I start with your bigger eraser and do that little pinch there, so you can kind of add to that. Like that. You can go in with your little mechanical eraser to get some of like the littler. So if you wanted to like have littler lines in here, smaller hairs. How you do that. And then you would blend it. You always blend everything so that you don't have those big lines. And then you kind of layer on top of everything. And you just keep layering and layering and layering, and then that gives you the effect of whatever hair you're drawing. So hopefully you guys learned a little bit from this little tools tutorial, but I'm also going to do some separate tutorials this coming week. I'll be on spring break and we're not going anywhere, we're staying home. So I will have time to create some little tutorials for fur and eyes and mouths and noses and all that good stuff. So we will draw together. So I'll see you then. Bye!